Ladies and gentlemen, you're talking with Michael. How you doing? I'm Michael. And today we have Jasmine Clemente, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur. How you doing, ma'am?
What's up?
How's everything today?
It is hot AF. I abbreviated it.
Okay.
Trying to keep it clean.
So, welcome to Talking with Michael. This is the show where you talk about everything you're not supposed to talk about. That's religion, spirituality, sex, all that good stuff. Politics, social stuff.
I didn't want to say politics, but you said it.
Yeah, I know. I said it. So, let's talk about you, and let's focus today on perseverance.
Okay. I'm the perfect person to speak about that, right? We talked about that perseverance, but a lot of people have.
So let's first, before we go into the drama, how did you get into the entertainment business? Let's start there.
Well, I've been singing since I was a kid, but I think I just networked a lot when I was younger. I was constantly putting myself out there. And I always loved house music, even when like pop and hip hop was really big in the 90s and the early millennium. And I kept telling people, house music. And they were like, no, that's a thing of the 90s. Right. And I kept saying like, no, trust me, it's going to make a comeback.
Right.
And lo and behold, it really did, right? Because EDM took off, and like now all you hear is house music when you go into the clubs. I mean, you still hear hip hop, but house music really, really did take off, even though it's different. You know, dance music basically really, really came back. And I always loved dance music because I love more of the soulful elements of house music, but everything, I'm a dancer. I love music, I love rhythm. Right. So I was very determined to make it. I had a dream, and I believed that it was meant for me. So
now, your dream, part of your dream also became your nightmare as you developed in the music industry.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I just did an IG story yesterday, Insta story, and I put that every curse is also a blessing. Okay. I just did that last night.
Oh, wow.
And I put like an animation of a dove, which symbolizes peace. Peace after the war. Okay. Because after war, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's like a kind of...
a silence.
Stigmatism, or like a legend or something that after a war, like a dove flies. That means that the war is over when the dove comes out. It's a symbol of peace because the war is now finished.
So let's go into, what was your war? You're doing well in the music industry.
Right.
You're getting a lot of opportunities, and then boom, you fall in love.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of women, especially, I think, go through this where as we get older, we feel like we need to get married. A lot of it can be because of our biological clocks and just because society kind of puts that in our heads since we're young, you know, that you have to become like the perfect wife for somebody, the whole Cinderella dream, you know. Right. Especially being in Latin culture, but I think any culture, that really all of them are like that, but Latin especially, I think it's like, you know, when are you gonna get married and have kids? It's like a big thing, you know? So I was looking to settle down, and I was only 30, but at 30 I was thinking, oh my God, I'm 30 now, it's a new decade, like I should be married, et cetera, et cetera. So I was in a relationship with this guy, and even though all the red flags were there, as far as him being abusive, I didn't think that he would become physically abusive, but the emotional and verbal, the red flags were already there. Wow. And I literally avoided the red flags because I was like, no, you know what? If I leave just because he has flaws and just because I see that he's a dark side, what's going to happen with the next guy that I meet? Because everyone has a shadow. Okay. So I kind of made excuses for it, and just figured if I love him enough and I do the right thing as a good girl, you know, good girlfriend, then, you know, whatever, miracles happen every day. You know, maybe my love will inspire him or get through to him, whatever, you know.
So what was your brick wall? What was the...
He got physical with me one day.
Oh, he got...
Yeah, well, what happened was, it happened twice. So the first time, I should have left even before it happened. The first time he actually, like, he smacked me in my face. Wow. And I smacked him back. So I think the reason why I let it slide was because I smacked him back. It was a reaction. Like, as soon as he hit me, I was like, what? And I smacked him right back as a reaction. And he took it. He didn't hit me again, you know, and we just looked at each other like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. And I was in shock. So, of course, he apologized and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that to you, you know, whatever. And
now, was he...
that was a red flag, right? Not physical. That was the first time he ever put his hands on me.
Wow.
So, but I smacked him back, like I said. So I did it right back. So I let it slide, but I knew, I was like, this is just gonna get worse. I don't know why the hell I stayed. Maybe it was a shock reaction, I don't know. Not even a week later is when like he got like physical with me, like really physical. And then after that, I just left him. So I had blocked him on everything.
Now, through this whole thing, and what people tend to not make the connection when it comes to artists, creatives, right? Creative people, we're still creating art all during this time. Like we're still, and we still gotta eat and live and we, all those other things. So how did that affect the music? What did it sound like during that time?
Woo! Okay, so he was a producer also. And
making those beats.
I was working with other people.
Okay.
A lot of other producers. He really wanted to work with me. I was his girlfriend, whatever. So there was actually a music video that I was supposed to do a video to a different record. But my boyfriend at the time had convinced me, like, no, don't do it because, you should do it to a new song. So that way you're doing something fresh.
Right.
But it was also because he wanted to do his record, of course, because it was a video and he wanted the recognition. Yeah. But he was my man, so I was like, cool, like whatever, like I'll do the video to our song, Right. So the day that he actually got physical with me was the day of that video shoot.
Wow.
Yeah. It was the day of that video shoot. So I almost didn't do it. My phone was broken. I couldn't even get in touch with the director because he had broken my phone. So I was gonna go home from New Jersey into Brooklyn and just not even do the video. I was shaking, I was a mess, I was traumatized, basically. He ran after me and said, Jazz, we still need to do the video. He had the phone number to the video director, so he contacted the director. He said, listen, let's just do the video, I'm sorry, blase, blase. I probably should have went to the police and did all of that. I actually still did the video that day. I know people are gonna hear me and think that I'm crazy, but if you look at Tina Turner's story or a lot of other artists, they got beat up and they still went into the studio and they still sang. Or if they had a commitment, they still did it. So I'm not saying that's why I did it because I was traumatized, but I couldn't, if my phone was on, I would have called the director, he would have heard me crying and screaming and shaking. Obviously, there would have been no video that day. But I couldn't contact the director. My boyfriend at the time did. And he was like, we're still gonna do the video, we're gonna be a little bit late, et cetera, et cetera. I was literally in shock. So, I did my makeup and everything. I didn't have any bruises to my face, but I had like a cut under my lip. You couldn't see that because you hide it with lipstick. I had like maybe a cut here or there, whatever. You couldn't really see it.
Wow.
And with cameras and light, you can't see that stuff anyway unless you have a big bruise. But if it's small, you're not gonna see that.
When did this happen?
This happened 4 years ago.
Okay, because I'm just letting everybody know, with the new digital cameras that they have today, you cannot hide anything. I'm just saying, 4K.
Depends how much makeup you have.
Yeah,
and it depends how bad the bruises. I mean, my bruises weren't that bad. You know what I mean? And it's not like he didn't punch me. He smacked me up. Wow. But he also choked me, and he also kicked me.
What held you together?
After that,
what spiritually? Let's switch a little. What kind of that made you say, what, I need, not only I need to move on, but I'm better than this, and and this is not healthy for me.
So the thing is, I didn't want to see him as a demon or a bad person. I saw him as human.
Okay.
My connection to him was a soul-to-soul connection, a heart-to-heart connection. It wasn't a mental thing. So on a level of a soul level, I was like, I used to think maybe he was someone that was in war in another life. Like maybe he was part of World War I or World War II. Who knows? Because I believe in reincarnation. I knew he was a troubled soul, but I also knew he had a big heart. And I know that is something that people don't want to hear. They're probably like, what? She's talking about domestic violence and she's saying the guy has a big heart? That's bad. I'm not here to give anyone advice. I'm just saying what happened with
your experience.
From my experience. Because everyone's experience is different. Right. I saw him as a human being who had good and had bad. Yes, his bad did outweigh the good, but he had a really big heart. But he was so troubled, he had a bad temper. So when he was upset, it was like explosion. You know what I mean? But he did have a good heart. And people that know him, and a lot of people in the industry do know him, and he passed away. He's dead. And a lot of people showed up at his funeral. He had a lot of friends. They knew him as being crazy. Everybody knew he was crazy. Everybody knew he was not all there.
Right.
But he did have a good heart. He was an exciting guy. He was a lot of fun. He was addicted to coke, so he had a drug problem. And that kind of was part of the reason why I stayed, because I thought, okay, it's not like he's just this asshole. He has a problem. He's addicted to drug. He's addicted to coke. He needs help. He needs, rehab. He needs.
And the reason why I'm asking this the way that I'm asking, because I think it is powerful that you still could look at the good
Soul?
in him,
Yeah.
and separate the actions and this and that. But I do think it's also powerful and important, especially for anyone watching that might be going through these similar things, is that even though you found the good in him, you still I still got to take care of myself. I still need to separate myself. I think it's interesting. A lot of times we come across people going through things, and the first thing we want to do is demonize the person, but also separate. And you could separate without demonizing. But the most important thing is, either way, you got to separate yourself. Mm-hmm. How did you do that, and how were you able to continue on a couple different levels? Continue with music, continue with love, and just moving on with your life. How were you able to do that?
I had a lot of support.
Okay.
I had a lot of friends and family. So I was and I'm still blessed to this day to have good people in my life. So I wasn't, God forbid, I know a lot of other people that stay in these situations sometimes don't have a big support system. They feel isolated, and that's a big reason why they probably stay. But I was in a really good situation where I have family support.
Randa, I'm going to show you something off camera, okay?
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you?
A friend of mine, that's his logo. And his name is Michael.
We'll talk.
Which is your name.
We'll talk. I'm doing one of those EBGB. See me writing down here. It's a very interesting show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going in. I don't care what you believe in. I'm here to offend. But we'll talk. This keeps coming up, what I just showed you.
Tree of life.
So we'll talk. Okay. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had support.
You had family, friends.
Yeah. I even had an ex-boyfriend. I'll say his name on air because he was such a good friend, and he's still a good friend. So I'm not afraid to say his name. Yeah, and he's married now, but he's such a good friend of mine. He was there. No, he was there for me. His name is Foremost Poets, Johnny Dangerous, and I give him a shout out because during that time he was there for me. And he put me in contact with other people, like another female. Her name is Christine Walker. She's a singer also. He said, "Yo, call Christine. She could probably help you." And she was there for me. And yeah. So I had a big support system. I had another friend. I mean, oh God, so many people were there for me. It was insane. So I was very, very lucky. And I didn't speak to the guy who hit me or whatever. I don't like to indulge in the whatever. I didn't speak to him for a year, but after a year we did speak and we did make up and we actually became really good friends. And he did get help, not because of me, but something else happened. I don't really have all the details, but I know that he moved on with someone else. And I don't think the same thing happened, but I know that they had arguments and fights and something happened that he went to go get help. He did anger management. And I remember one day I went to his house and I was so like, oh my God, I'm going to go to his house for the first time after such a long time. This is going to bring back a lot of memories. And a lot of people wouldn't even have went back. But I did. I went back on faith and I said, you know what? Because again, I saw his soul. He's human, he's flawed, whatever. I can forgive. I'm not naive, but I really understand the power of forgiveness. It's real. They don't just say forgive just to forgive. You really have to practice that. You really have to do that when you're ready, though. That's to be genuine. And I genuinely forgave him for what he did. I'm not saying that everyone should do that. Everyone's situation is different. But I was able to forgive him. So I forgave him. I went to his house, and he literally sat down in the kitchen, took my hands, looked at me straight in my face, and said, I am sorry for what I did to you. And he said specifically what he was sorry for. So he didn't water it down. He didn't say, oh, I'm just sorry for hitting you. He said, I'm sorry that I kicked you. I'm sorry that I choked you. And I'm sorry that I smacked you like that. I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. And he showed me his papers from anger management and showed me the questions that they would give him in class and like what he would circle and, stuff like that, just to prove to me, like, look, I'm taking classes and courses and they're showing me like my mental process, like why I respond to things like this, or the actions that I take, my behavior basically. And he showed me. And part of the program is to do what he did, to apologize to someone. And he chose me.
Now, the next time I'm going to, again, bring it back to you. What was your certificate? What was your, so for instance, he went through what his homework.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with your homework.
Right.
What was your homework?
That's a good question. Well, obviously, if I ever see flags, like red flags like that again, where I think a person would hit me, obviously I'm not even going to stay.
Gotcha.
Because it doesn't matter, like, you know what I mean? I still probably see red flags and probably do stay. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't want to lie and say,
it's a process.
I completely learned my lesson.
Right.
Right, it's different for everybody.
Every day.
Yeah,
it
is a process. It's step by step, right?
Yeah.
I still kind of accept behavior that I probably shouldn't accept. I mean, but never, like, even if a guy calls me out of my name and calls me a bitch or whatever, I'm out the door. You know what I mean? I'm not staying. Like, I don't care what the situation is. Like, if you call me out of my name, I'm out the door.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I still don't let certain things slide. So I'm not going to say, like, oh yeah, now a man has to treat me like a queen and he's a king. I will be honest, like, I still kind of let things slide, and it's because I know that people are human, and no matter what, they just
but he
all have
does have to treat you like a queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how do you treat someone like a queen or a king?
Guess what?
You know what I mean? It's
This is going to make some of y'all tight out there, but you have to be with a king if you expect that person to treat you like a queen.
Right.
It is what it is.
Coming from your lips.
I'm just
from your
saying.
lips to God's ears.
You have to, I mean, it's like a 5-year-old. You don't expect them to write the Declaration of Independence. You just don't expect that from a 5-year-old. You can't. Not on the same page as an adult. So,
right.
I've been through that too, where, you just think the best of individuals, but I've gotten to that point where you start realizing that everybody's not on the same page. Dumb is as dumb does kind of thing. Right. But let's talk about manifesting from, the perseverance. You created a candle company.
And it's called Home to My Soul.
Let's take a look at what you got going on over there. Hold on a second. There. Boom. Let's see, guys. Let's move this out the way.
This is the package. Oops, there we go.
Now, where can people buy this?
They can go on my website, directly on the website, www.hometomysoul.com.
Okay.
So it's online right now. And sometimes I vend at certain pop-up shops or exhibits, and not exhibits, what do you call it? Market fairs.
Or conventions.
Right, exactly. But yeah, definitely go online, www.hometomysoul.com. It's a candle. Okay. Obviously, light represents your inner light, your divinity.
Are you going to open it?
Yes. So that's my business card right there, a little picture of me. This is a signature scent, Jasmine, because of my name. It has jasmine petals inside. Okay, so, and also the wrapping paper has some music notes because I'm an artist. I love this wrapping paper. Like, you don't understand. I was like, I have to have that wrapping paper in my... I love the wrapping paper.
It's like Christmas. Hurry up. Take it out. Take it out. Take it out.
So, this is a jasmine scented candle. That's the logo right there. There we go. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you created the logo?
Yes. No. I didn't create the logo, actually. I forgot his name. You put me on the spot. I believe his name is Richard. It was a couple of years ago when he did it. Yeah. And
now, you got, like, nuts and berries and cereal. You got, like, Captain Crunch in there. What's going on?
Those are jasmine petals. And it's organic essential oil, jasmine scented. So it's organic, it's fresh, it's good to breathe. Made from 100% soy wax. So,
now, you make this yourself?
Handmade. I buy the bulk of the wax. I melt it.
So you just
pour it in.
Sitting there in the kitchen melting wax.
I make a whole batch, like for a couple of days, and then I let them dry, and I have a whole batch until I get new orders in.
Wow.
I do jasmine, lavender, and rose.
That is awesome. And again, say the website one more time.
It's hometomysoul.com.
Okay. Home to My Soul. Why Home to My Soul?
I like the name. I mean, the thing is, to be honest, whenever I would write songs, and this happened after my ex and that whole crazy situation, but when producers would send me music, I would basically light up candles, incense, I would burn incense, and also put essential oils, like burn the essential oils. So my place really smelled good, and it's very quiet. So when they would send me music, I would literally have like this ambiance in my place, and then get into writing the song. And I would listen to the track over and over on repeat. And sometimes I would do like a whole week where I'm just listening to the same song every single day until I marry that rhythm.
Wow.
But I have to have the essential oils and the incense burning, the sage and the candles. I cannot tell you how many candles I have bought before I started my own line. Like I was
really?
like, I have to have candles in, when I'm working, when I'm writing, and I would just write these song lyrics. So I said, you know
This is
what?
awesome.
Instead of thank you.
There's like nuts and berries and I swear I think there's Captain Crunch in here. Oh wow, it smells good.
That's on me. That's Jasmine.
Your foot's in there? That's amazing. How'd you get your foot in there? It smells really good. And now what is
Thank
this
you.
thing?
That's the wood wick. So I have different candles. Some of them have the echo wick, which is the regular, it looks like it's the white wick, which is not the wooden wick, but just the thinner one. That one burns really
The little
bright.
string.
Yeah, the string. That one burns really bright. The wood wick burns lower. It's a lower flame. Some people like the lower flame because they're afraid of the big light, because it can catch fire or whatever. Some people have like a phobia of that. So that one burns
Don't be
lower.
afraid of the light.
Go to the lights.
Yeah, go to the light, Carolyn. Go to the light.
So the wood wick, it also crackles, which is really cool because it's like a fireplace. You know how the wood crackles?
Right.
So it crackles. So when you burn it, you can actually hear it going. It's really, really cool. Yeah. And it burns down slow. So this really lasts a long time because the wax doesn't go down fast. Like it's a slow burn.
Gotcha.
So it lasts,
That's cool.
this is a while. Yeah.
Now, would you have created that if you
no.
didn't go through that turmoil?
No way. No way. Again, every curse has a blessing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what does the music sound like now?
Well, I'm still doing house music, but I also am expanding. So I'm actually working with this really cool producer. His name is Hashima Moja.
Okay.
And that's not house music. That's more like a cross between neo soul and world music.
Okay.
So it's different. And I wanted to do, like, for example, we're working on a slow song right now. It's actually about someone who passes away. It's not about my ex, but for whatever reason, I just had this feeling. I wanted to write music that has meaning to it and purpose. So all my music tends to be like that, but sometimes it's just dance records. It's just a party and celebrate and have a good time. But I wanted to
shake it.
Yeah, I want my music to like all my records to kind of like you hear it and it inspires you, or it makes you feel emotional, or it just touches you on a soul level. So I had thought about this song. It just manifested that way on its own, and it's literally about someone passing away. And basically, what you're saying is you have to live your life every day like it's your last, because the seasons do change. Things do change. The future is not guaranteed. We're all going to pass away, and we really have to live it up now. And remember the people that have gone, because they were special while they were here.
Wow.
So I'm working on a record with Hashima Moja on that, but also we have another record we're working on that has like the flamenco vibe to it. So that one I'm still working on.
Flamingo?
Flamenco, yeah.
Oh, not flamingo, flamenco.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, flamingo is a bird, right?
Yeah.
And then flamenco is flamenco, if I'm pronouncing it right. It's like the Latin kind of. There's tango, there's flamenco from Spain, flamenco.
Okay.
The guitar strings are like a flamenco kind of vibe. So it's, yeah, so, I'm doing that, and I'm still doing house music. I'm working with a producer from South Africa named V Soul. And the next record we're doing is called Coming Home.
Okay.
That's about getting back with someone. You're coming home, getting back with that person because they're home to you. But it's really nice. It's like the lyrics are dope.
And where could we get the music?
We're still working on it. So that's going to be...
Would it be on the same website that we get the candles?
No, that would be on, it's going to be on iTunes, TrackSource,
Okay.
maybe Beatport. I'm usually on TrackSource. All my house music you can find on TrackSource.
Okay.
For people who are not aware of TrackSource, if you're in the house music community, you know what TrackSource is. It's like, if you're in the house community and you're not on TrackSource, that means you need to get on it. Like you have to, that's like our, you know. And I do have music on iTunes as well, and usually my stuff is always on iTunes, even Spotify. I'm on that as well. Beatport. And then I have to, right now my Jasmine Clemente website is separate from Home to My Soul. That's all my music and films and things that I've done. That's currently in construction because I'm upgrading my website.
Okay.
But it should be up pretty soon, probably in like the next 2 weeks. So that's www.jasmineclemente.com.
So, because our time is almost up, what do you want people to walk away with from just what you shared?
I would say that
so
no
far
matter
today?
what happens in life, that you need to keep going. You know, like you
Okay.
said, perseverance. You need to love yourself and keep going because you were born with a purpose. All of us were. Even my ex, the one that passed away, like I said, I'm glad that we forgave each other. Well, that I forgave him. Because I didn't know he was going to die. He ended up dying a few years later. You know, and I went to his funeral and I was like, thank God we left on good terms, because it could have been where, oh, that's how I remember him, that he did that to me and it was horrible.
Right.
You know, but he apologized to me, so when he died there was some peace there.
Hold
So
on
I
a
think,
second.
you know, you have one life to live, do the best that you can and live your purpose. And if you have made any mistakes and there's any regrets, apologize. You know, if there's any unfinished business, you should seek that out to have, you know, close those doors. Every day might be your last. I mean, yes, plan for the future, but still, you don't know what's going to happen. So live every day like it's your last and truly, truly live your purpose. People know what their purpose is. Everyone knows deep down on a soul level, even if they've forgotten what it is or they're a little lost. Deep down, they know what it is. So live your purpose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Give us your website.
www.hometomysoul.com, also www.jasmineclemente.com, and you can find me on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you just the little @ symbol, Jasmine Clemente, Jasmine, Clemente is Clemente, and Home to My Soul. You know how to spell that.
Well, you can't assume
You know how to spell
anything.
home, right? Home.
Well, I mean, with
Comy, soul. SOUL.
this is the education from America. Anything is possible, knowing and not knowing. Thank you so much for sharing and talking with Michael today. And thank everyone out there. Switched cameras for you. Thank you for spending some time and talking with me, Michael. And we will continue to have interesting conversations with wonderful people, thinking outside of the box, having the conversations we have one-on-one or when we go out to eat and we're hanging out with our friends and all the stuff that people tend to not want to talk about. And thank you.
Thank you
again.
for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
I love everybody.
Awesome. Woohoo! Have a good one. Enjoy the journey. Love each other. And watch what you eat. All right. Let's just throw. Oh, hold on a second. Awesome.
That was good. Thank you.
Hold on. We're still alive. Let me throw up
we are?
something there for. Yeah. We're still talking to people. Yes. Please purchase. You get a nice little close up there. Which camera we want to go with? We'll go with this one there. That's nice.
Thank you.